Welcome back, everyone, to another Spot On Chat with Rebecca Monet. I'm Chief Scientist and President of Zorakle Profiles. We provide profiling tools to franchisors and franchise consultants that help a prospective franchisee determine what's the right franchise for them. With me, once again, is the infamous Scott Sharkey. So thanks for coming back, Scott.
Hey, my pleasure.
All right, so I am so enjoying our conversation. And I had this kind of thought for a moment. I'm sure because you have such an interesting and unique concept at Sharkey's Cuts for Kids, that you probably have some pretty interesting characters that might come into your location. Is there any kind of stories you can tell us about the parents or the kids or anyone else?
Oof, oh my God, I've been doing this now for 17 years now, 18 years. And oh my God, there's some good stories from, back in the day in 2002 when Linda and I started the business. I worked behind the front desk. We weren't franchising at the time. So I was a glorified receptionist. That's what I was. And we opened up 2 and 3 and I ran around and learned retail and oh my God, the business has come a long way since then.
Mm-hmm.
It is passive now. Back then it was, oh my God, we didn't even have a POS system. It was all, legal pads and pencils and so on. So I'd say the most intriguing story that I share at training, and I'm going to do the very quick version of it because it's long, but we were 3 weeks into the business. We had started the business in Connecticut in a town called Cos Cob, which is a suburb of Greenwich. It's a piece of Greenwich, Connecticut, which is a pretty well-to-do town. So we were open for 2 weeks, and a mom came in and wanted to book a birthday party at our shop. And we said, okay. And we were in the party business also. We do glamour parties, hair, nails, makeup.
Oh, how fun.
And fashion shows and all that stuff. So we hadn't done a party yet. So 2 weeks into our first store, mom comes in. She wants to book a party at 12:30 in the afternoon on a Friday. On a Friday, her daughter goes to private school. She's 4 or 5, and we'll have the bus drop off the kids at Sharkey's Cuts for Kids, and so on. So in our business, it's pretty quiet from 12:30 to like 2:45. The little kids are sleeping and the kids are still in school, and then it's just crazy after once they come in. So we booked the party, and I didn't know what to charge her because she was taking over my store for 2.5 hours. So I honestly just threw a dart on the wall, and I charged her $2,800 for 2 hours. She said, okay.
Wow.
So, sizing up clientele and kind of knowing what people want, and we had just opened. So in the party business, people want to go what's new and trendy. And we had just opened. So anyway, so I'm going to move forward here. So the party starts and it's crazy. My wife, Linda, was heading up the hair, nails, and makeup in the back room. And I was in the front room of the salon, making sure the flow was good. And we brought in pizza and, salads for the adults. And all the husbands were in blue blazers. It was a stuffy crowd. Very stuffy. Yeah.
Ivy League.
Yeah. And my oldest daughter, Julia, was 5, and I think she was in school. And my middle guy, Jack, at the time was 1, maybe 1.5. So we had to give my son to a friend of ours, Linda's friend, to babysit him while the party was going on. This was a big deal. So Jack, my son, went to a friend's house. The party's moving on. It's moving. It's crazy in there. We're just going with it. There's like 80 people in the shop, and I get a call from my wife's friend Sue that Jack was playing in the backyard and he kind of fell off the sliding pond and he's holding his wrist, and I'm going to take him to the hospital for X-rays. 2 weeks open for business.
No.
Like, holy! Do I go tell Linda? And she's going to run out of the salon and leave me with everything, and I don't know what to do, and I don't say anything. He calls me a half hour later that Jack broke his wrist.
Oh.
So and I have 45 minutes left in the party. So I'm like, well, if I don't tell her, I'm going to hear about it for the next. So I go tell her. She bolts out, goes to the hospital. We finish up the party. It goes great. I have another party that night. It's 6:30. So we have to change over the shop for haircuts. Then we have a party, and we finish the second party. My son comes in with Linda, and I kind of lost it. It was very emotional.
Aw.
The whole day was. I get home that night, and the mom from the first party calls me and says, what a great time we had. But I have to tell you that my daughter one of the kids came home from school, and in their Friday folders, which are the notes that the teachers give at the end of the week, there was lice in the classroom. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It's 10 o'clock at night on a Friday. This is the only thing missing in my day. You gotta be kidding me. So I call my manager, and I'm like, what do we do? Sherry, who still works for me now, 17 years later, here in Westport. What do I do? Well, you got to go into the shop and wash the combs and disinfect the countertops and the brushes and the towels. And I know you don't want me to use the word on here, but I actually just gave a big capital Q. I said, I'm not doing that. My book is full for Saturday, full for appointments. I go to the shop. I throw everything in the garbage. Towels, brushes, capes, combs. And then I can
start over.
CVS, Walgreens within 10 miles of the shop and get all the stuff for the next day. And that was it.
Oh my gosh.
That was one of the probably the most wild story that I've had in all my years, for me, of working in the salon, at least for a bunch of years. And I would say on the franchise side, you know, because I can't get into too much. There's some good stories over a glass of wine or a beer.
All right, we'll do that.
But the one that stands out in my mind is we had a salon, not in the United States, and one day the wife comes in, and I got the story from the husband. The wife comes in and walks out with 2 hair washing sinks and the barber, and leaves her husband.
Hey, she had her priorities straight. She wants those sinks.
Leaves a note on the front desk for her husband that I'm leaving you. Leaves with the barber and 2 hair washing.
Some hanky-panky going on behind those basins.
You cannot make that stuff up. No, it's great. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a riot. 2 wonderful stories that make wonderful memories at the same time. My guess is neither one of those things were on your bucket list.
No. But I do share those stories at training. I mean, the party story is another 20 minutes because I like to embellish a bit, and you don't know this about it, but I used to be a stand-up comic for 2 years.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, in between, when I was transitioning in between the family business and Sharkey's, I was on the circuit in Manhattan, 1 show a week for like 2 years.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to have to talk about that in another segment. But thank you for sharing these unusual, quirky stories that add spice to life, right? And spice to running a business. But I love your attitude through the whole thing. You just adapted. You just did what needed to be done in that scenario. So thanks again, Sharkey, for joining us. Sharkey, I'm sorry, Scott. We'll just call you Sharkey.
I like Sharkey. Listen, the Sharkey.
Sharkey. I love it. We'll see you in the next round.